We're going to argue about fish food today, and you know what? There's nothing you can do about it. What are you going to do? Come on, try something. Fish keepers have been arguing about fish food for as long as people have been keeping glass boxes full of water. It's just one of those topics that you can easily rile people up. If you want your fish to be healthy, you have to feed live foods. Processed foods are better because they have added vitamins and minerals that help with growth and color. Live foods help with their instinct to want to hunt. Processed foods are better because all of the threat of disease has been cooked right out of them. We're going to break each one of these points down one by one. So let's go. If you want your fish to be healthy, you have to feed them live foods. Well, let me tell you something. Before we get started, if you heard that and you instantly thought about feeder goldfish and feeder guppies that you can buy at your pet store, you just need to go. Go on. Just move along. When we talk about live foods, we're not talking about those. Instead, we're talking about the real live foods like vinegar eels, brine shrimp, and Daphnia. Please don't waste your time in the comments talking about all the benefits of feeder fish. You will not win, I promise. Oh, and I also don't care about you raising your own guppies to feed to your precious fish. Seriously, I don't care. I like to use common sense when it comes to this argument, and that means using a human analogy. If you're standing in the meat section at your grocery store and you're looking at the ham that's been cut from the pig, wrapped in plastic, and put on the shelf, and right next to it is a honey-baked ham, you look at them and think, well, I mean, they're both ham. Yeah, they're both ham, but they're very, very different. One is straight from the animal's body. Believe me, I am well aware of how disturbing that sounds. And the other is cut, smoked, and then cooked in sugar, honey, and salt. What about beef? Well, again, you see the ribeye straight from the animal, and then one aisle over is the all beef Nathan's hot dogs, and you're like, it's all beef. In both of these scenarios, it's common sense. The meat cut straight from the animal is going to be much healthier for you because it doesn't have all the extra sugars, salts, and preservatives that the processed meats have. Fish food is the same way. That baby brine shrimp that you just hatched is going to be much healthier for your fish than brine shrimp that's been cooked and processed and preserved and all that other stuff. But I don't think it's exactly the same because fish food manufacturers aren't adding sugars and salts to make it taste better. They're adding things like vitamins and minerals to make them healthier for fish, but at the end of the day, it's all processed. It's taking food in its purest form and adding a bunch of stuff to it. So answer the question then, John. Is live food better for your fish? Yes, but also no. I personally believe feeding your fish live brine shrimp, vinegar eels, or Daphnia is better than prepared fish foods. But the reality is most people, including me, don't have the ability to produce these live foods. It's kind of a pain in the butt to do it. Manufactured fish foods like Extreme, Hikari, and Northfin are great for your fish. It's not the same as feeding your fish hot dogs. Live foods are more nutritious, but also a pain, so whichever way works for you is fine.
Processed foods are better because they have vitamins and minerals that promote color and growth. Well, this is true, but doesn't this kind of contradict what John just said? I don't know. I'm so confused. Here's the thing. Yes, processed fish foods have things in them that can promote fast growth, bright colors, and probiotics that live foods might not have. Or maybe there's more of it than if they were to eat nothing but vinegar eels every meal of the day. Does that make it better than live foods? Well, I'm going to say it like this. Yes, it is better than live foods if all you're doing is feeding the same live food every day. Here's what I mean. Back to John's human analogy. I'm not a doctor, but to me, this seems like common sense. If you take 3 people that are the same age and relatively healthy, and one eats nothing but chicken all day every day, and the next one eats nothing but beef, and the third only eats pork, the results are going to be very different for all 3 of them. One will have plenty of vitamins in this and deficient in that, and I think you know where I'm going with this, right? If you were to feed all three of those people all three types of these meats, they would be better off. Am I making sense, or am I making myself look really stupid? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just giving you my opinion. This is just how my brain works. If you're only feeding your fish one live food every day, there's going to be things they're not getting enough of, just like the stupid example I just gave. Variety is the key, getting nutrients from multiple different sources. If you're only feeding vinegar eels, your fish might be deficient in some things. With processed foods, they've got all those things mixed up in one, so it's like you're giving them that variety all in one shot. To wrap this segment up before I confuse things even more, I think both foods are really good, and if it makes you feel better, I have 20 tanks and feed exactly 0 live foods. What's that tell you?
Live foods help with your fish's natural instinct to want to hunt. I hate this so much. Let me show you 2 things that have never happened with pets that you can see in pretty much every household.
Where are you going?
Taking Roxy to hunt rabbits.
What?
Yeah, she's a beagle. It's what she wants to do. It's her natural instinct to want to hunt. It's good for her.
If you kill a rabbit, you better not even come back to this house. You can just go live in a box or something.
What do you think? You think we should go back in the house and get some treats? Or you want to go hunt rabbits? You're so silly. Okay, let's go back in the house. Let's get back in here. We don't want to get in trouble. Or how about this one? What did you get?
I got 12 live mice.
Why?
Because I'm gonna let them out so they can run around the house and the cats can chase them, because I'm a super cool cat mom.
Have you lost your mind? Do you realize what letting 12 mice run around the house, what kind of damage that can do?
Yeah, but it's cats' instincts, you know, to like chase mice.
No. 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 No.
Why?
Just no. Take them back.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey.
Look, if you're buying feeder fish and feeding them to your fish at home because you think that that is going to help them with their instinct to want to hunt, I'm sorry. You're just being silly. Instead of making up such a silly excuse, why not just admit you like watching that kind of stuff? It doesn't make you a bad person, it just makes you weird. Move along and just hang out with those other people we kicked out earlier. That group seems to be growing as we go on with this video.
Processed foods are safer because the risk of disease is cooked out of it. This is another one I struggle to argue with, but it depends on what live food you're feeding. You want to see something funny? I guarantee there's already been someone that's typed in the comments, I raise my guppies to make sure they're clean and don't have diseases before I feed them to my fish. Once they get to this part of the video, they're gonna be like, anyway, listen, if that's your thing, if you're raising your own guppies to feed to your own fish, you shouldn't have the risk of fish disease like you would if you bought them at the pet store. I think you're a little weird and you should definitely get more time away from home mingling, like with other people and stuff, but if that's your thing, go for it. They should be safe. But most people aren't gonna go through the hassle of growing fish to feed to their own fish. If you don't wanna raise your own fish, don't worry about it. You can just feed your fish food out of a can and they're gonna be fine. They will not get diseases, they'll be fine.
So here's my final thoughts. Live foods like vinegar eels, Daphnia, brine shrimp, those are all great sources of nutrition for your fish, but they can also be a pain in the butt to produce. Most of us don't have the time or the money to do what it takes to produce this live food, and not only produce it, but also keep it alive until it's ready to feed. But I totally get it. Some people consider that an extension of the hobby, and to those people I say, go for it. Knock yourself out. But to us mere mortals that just want to enjoy our fish and don't want all that extra work and that extra layer of producing this live food, you're gonna be completely fine feeding your fish manufactured food. It's all packed with vitamins and minerals and all of that good stuff to make it a perfectly acceptable food for your fish's entire life. And it is so much easier. I hope that clears things up for you. We sure did have a good time with this one, and I hope you did too. Thanks for watching. Bye.